Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I am your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka the Realist Astrologer. And tonight I'll be doing the free reading for the month of August. And this reading is for my girl Deanna. She said it was okay for me to give her a shout out. And she is a Sagittarius actually, but she's born on the cusp. She was born on December 21st, 1986. So depending on what time you were born, Deanna, you're either a Sagittarius or a Capricorn. So if you were born in the late hours of the night, like after 10:41 p.m., then you're a Capricorn. If you were born before that, you're a Sagittarius. So just let me know if you know what time you were born. You leave a comment or you can send me an email. I'll provide my email address before this video ends, and then you can let me know what time you were born if you have that time. But regardless, with you being born on the 21st, that's Sagittarius energy because 21 breaks down to 3. 3 is the number of Jupiter and Sagittarius. So you definitely have that Sagittarius energy within you. And then you also have Uranus, Mercury, and Saturn in Sagittarius as well. So it really doesn't matter that your sun is in Capricorn or Sagittarius. You have a lot of Sagittarian energy in your chart. So that makes you very outgoing. It makes you full of vigor. You want to live life to the fullest. And when it comes to relationships, you tend to want to give your all. You want to fall in love and you want to have that romantic experience. And you just want to be open and honest with your partner. And you really don't like, a lot of game playing. You don't like a lot of, mind games and a lot of guessing. So you really like to be sure what you're dealing with. So it makes sense that you asked this question. So Deanna's question was, am I wasting my time or is he wasting his time? So let me get into that. So I already broke down your numerology, you being a 21 and a 3. 21 is actually a very fortunate number. 3 is a very fortunate number as well. 21 is actually more fortunate than 3. And 21 can bring you a lot of prestige in life depending on what type of career path you embark upon. And basically, you can be really at the top of your game. You can be an expert in your field. Basically, you can be you can gain a lot of popularity and acclaim with that number. So you should feel good that you're a 21. Also, 21 is very independent. You're not really emotionally needy, so that's good. And with all that Sagittarian energy you have going on, that makes sense. However, you have Venus in Scorpio, so that does make you a little bit more emotionally needy than, say, if your Venus was in Sagittarius. So with Venus in Scorpio, you have a need to have relationships that are very intense, that are deeply meaningful, and that, will actually be transformative in your life, where it will actually, improve your life tremendously. However, Venus in Scorpio does make you prone to be in relationships where either your partner is cheating, or if your partner is faithful, you may be the one that cheats, or you might be tempted to cheat. And then you have Venus in quincunx to Chiron and Gemini. So that can deal with being in love triangles, just where seems like there's always two loves that you have. One love you can't have, the one that you really want, you really can't have, but the one that, you kind of like, he's all over you. So you have the tendency to attract relationships like that are not cut and dry, that have a high degree of unpredictability, and that can be kind of alternative or kind of, just out of the box. So just keep that in mind. So when I did a reading about your relationship with this Leo guy, basically the way he sees things is he sees himself as being in control. And he sees himself as being very confident in this relationship and where it's headed and what he wants out of it. And he's looking at you as basically setting the barometer or setting the tone in terms of how this relationship is and where it's going. So he's looking at you as whatever you're putting into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. So basically he's putting it all on you. So in his mind, he's not wasting his time. He's having a great time. He's still free. He's unattached. He doesn't have to make any commitments right now. And he's happy with that. Now, you, on the other hand, you see yourself as being very patient with him, being warm, being very understanding, but also using a little finesse to kind of get him to move in the direction you want him to move. But you know that he's very strong-willed, so you know you can't do too much to get him to do what you want him to do. You know that if you put too much pressure on him, he's going to move in the other direction. That's very true with him being a Leo and also being a 31. That's a very independent number. That's a number that can be almost tyrannical when it comes to what they want. So he's the type that, if you try to pressure him or push him too hard, he's going to move in the other direction. But I feel that you already know that about him because you're represented by the strength card, and that strength card deals with patience. It deals with using finesse and using soft control, not being domineering, and exercising self-control. So this tells me that you want the relationship to move faster and to progress more towards a commitment, but you understand where he's coming from and you understand his limitations. So you're practicing or you're exercising self-control in the process. Now you see him as being a really good friend, someone you could talk to, someone you could confide in. You might even see him as a potential long-term partner or husband. However, it looks like the two of you are not dealing with each other just, on your own. It looks like there's a third party in the mix. And that is keeping the two of you from really coming together and being a full couple. However, besides this third party, like I said, this Leo dude, he's very willful, so he's not going to compromise. He's very uncompromising, and he can be even non-committal to a certain extent. So you got to keep that in mind with him. So my advice to you is to basically see the relationship for what it is. Know that it's just, something where the both of you guys can, blow off some steam, where it's like a retreat from the, daily grind, and from the outside world. Both of you guys it's funny because both of you guys have the same need in this relationship, and that's represented by the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords came up in both of you guys reading from your perspective and his perspective. So that tells me that neither one of you guys want to make the first move in terms of getting this relationship to grow or progress forward. You're both just waiting it out, seeing how things turn out. Neither one of you guys want to put all your cards on the table. And that could deal with both of you guys' numerology and astrology. You being having that Sagittarian energy, a lot of times Sagittarius doesn't want to put all their cards on the table and make a full-fledged commitment because you're afraid that you might be missing out on something, or you just really, value your freedom to a high degree. Also, Leo is the same way, but with Leo men, they tend to be big time players. So a Leo man, he's not going to want to settle down if he feels like he's still viable and he feels like he can still get other women, unless he's really very much in love and he wants to settle down and have a family. But I don't see him being that type of guy, at least not just yet. So my advice to you, if you really want to see who's wasting whose time, fall back. Withdraw a lot of your attention and your support and your affection, and see how he reacts. Now, I did this reading out to the end of this year. So it looks like if you take my advice and you fall back and you stop giving him as much attention as you were giving him, then he's going to respond in kind. He's going to drop off as well, and he won't be as affectionate, and he won't be giving you as much as attention as he was giving you before as well. So like I said, he's looking to you to set the tone. So if you were to call it quits and say, that's it, I don't want to deal with you, he probably wouldn't try to, win you back or try to reel you back in. He would just be like, okay, and he would be on to the next one. So that's my reading. Hopefully you found this enlightening. If you have any questions or if you want to provide feedback, you can either leave a comment or you can email me at karma3675@aol.com. That's karma, KARMA 3675@AOL.com. So the next free reading will be for the month of September, this month. So anybody that would like to be chosen for a free reading, leave your information at the bottom. You don't need to leave your partner's name. Just leave the birth dates, and if you want, you can leave a question, but it's not necessary. And then I will randomly select the person for the September reading, and I'll provide the reading in the month of October. Peace and blessings.